Okay, so the passage that I chose from reading The Book Thief, one that was really captivating to me, is here. I'm going to read it.
When am I recording?
Yeah. I wanted to tell the book thief many things about beauty and brutality, but what could I tell her about those things that she didn't already know? I wanted to explain that I'm constantly overestimating and underestimating the human race, that rarely do I ever simply estimate it. I wanted to ask her how the same thing could be so ugly and so glorious, and its words and stories so damning and brilliant. None of those things, however, came out of my mouth. All I was able to do was turn to Liesl Memminger and tell her the only truth I truly know. I said it to the book thief, and I say it to you now. A last note from your narrator. I am haunted by humans. That passage to me was just super important and crucial in the book because it's already very unique that the whole entire novel is being portrayed in the eyes of death itself. So I think that just really connected death to Liesl and the significance that death has in Liesl's life and how it kind of followed her wherever she went. Because of the tragic time period. So the plot of The Book Thief kind of lies in the hands of the voice of the narrator, who is Death. He introduces himself as that right in the beginning, so you know. Liesl Memminger, she is a young girl, about 10 years old, I think. She is the main character. She's the book thief. And the book starts out with the first time that Death saw Liesl, so the first time Death was in Liesl's life. In other words, which was on the train with her mother and brother to Munich. The mother was putting them up for adoption, and that's when her little brother dies. So that's when Death sees Liesl for the first time. And that's also the start of a very crucial point in her life because she steals her first book, which was the Grave Digger's book, which was left at the funeral. So it kind of sets the scene up for the rest of the book, that she embraces this role of a book thief, and it just kind of overall encompasses her desire to learn, her desire for words and knowledge. So the main thing you have to know, I guess, plot-wise, is that Liesl's put up for adoption, and she becomes in the possession of Hans and Rosa Huberman, who become her foster parents, and she forms a very, very close relationship with Hans before she does Rosa. It takes Rosa kind of a long time to warm up just because of the way she decides to love Liesl is a lot different than how Hans does it. Hans is more, he's just more of a caring and gentle and sentimental guy, and he knows how to comfort Liesl in the beginning of their relationship when he's teaching her how to read and when he helps her with her nightmares. And Rosa, the way she loves, is just more aggressive, and she's just not as gentle, but she still does love Liesl a lot. The main friendships that Liesl forms in the book are with Rudy, which is the neighborhood boy who's in love with her, and they just have this amazing friendship that is maintained throughout the novel, and Max, which is the Jew that Liesl's family ends up taking him with them to their basement to protect him from getting taken in to the concentration camps. So Max is a really dynamic character in this as well, and the bond that he forms with Liesl is really special. So the main thing that Liesl does throughout the novel is she continuously steals books from anywhere she can get her hands on. Okay, so that's nice about the plot. Okay, the next thing that I want to talk about is why I chose this book, which is because I didn't really know anything about it. I'd only heard from people that it was good, but I saw the movie, which was really captivating and intrigued me right away, because I'm really fascinated in general with the story about the concentration camps and the Jews, and it fascinated me even more, I'd say, with the book than it did the film, so I'm satisfied, I think, with the read. It was really captivating and interesting to read it through Death's eyes, because obviously in the movie it's not portrayed through Death's eyes, it's just more of an overlook. And so the author's purpose, I think, in writing this book was just to portray how the people lived in that time period and how hard things were under Hitler's rule. And some of the main themes that they portray this through is the power of words. The power of words is the main thing that I'm just going to talk about, just because it's really evident in how Liesl, throughout the entire throughout the entire book, Liesl is always trying to learn new words, and her desire for learning how to read and write and become more knowledgeable about the word and just her passion for writing is what saves her in the end, because she's writing a novel in the basement when the bombs go off, and she's the only one that survives. And yeah, okay.